So you've gotten the massages, you've done the yoga, you've started the meditation, you're doing the journaling practice, you've done all the self-care things, but something's still not working. So today I want to talk to you about why the self-care is getting you nowhere. Welcome back to The Journey with Janine. Janine here. This is where we talk all things mindset, harnessing your magic and making the most out of your personal journey. Today I want to go over something that I think is so current in this season of self-care and mindfulness and just thought-based relationships and, trying to sharpen ourselves as human beings. I think there's a lot of self-development going on. Therapy has become, less taboo. It's become popular. It's trending essentially now. However, I'm finding so many people are doing all of these things and they're not finding change. They're not experiencing real, true transformation and change. And we don't want the self-care to take us nowhere. So I'm going to share with you the 4 ways that self-care is getting you nowhere and how to get out of that cycle, because that's not what we're here for. We want to live our best life. We want to maximize our path and really make the most of our journey. So stay till the end, because I'll have how you can actually get out of those obstacles and shift yourself in the way that's going to make your pathway more powerful. Some of my favorite self-care practices that I go to again and again and again, I would say, are journaling, yoga, meditation. Those are my main 3. They get me through. They're things that I go back to over and over again, and they've been kind of that old faithful. They get it done. They make it happen. In my personal path and journey of becoming a mother, being a wife, having a career, becoming an entrepreneur, all of these different avenues of life, continuing school, I have gone through a variety of stressors, a variety of obstacles, and also a variety of emotions through that pathway. And some of those have included depression. Depression and anxiety are it's like an echo that we hear in our society of people navigating depression, how to overcome depression, how to reduce anxiety, all of these things. And definitely taking partnership with a practitioner is going to be one of the best things that you can do. However, the true work starts with you. And that's what I want to discuss today. In my journey of navigating my depression, I definitely went and I did start working with a therapist, which was like so great, and I really appreciate her. She completely helped transform my life. But what I learned in therapy was just, it mirrored everything that we already know, and it's that it starts with us. So understanding that while self-care is great and it offers you these amazing options of all of these really great things that you can do, if we do not change our beliefs, self-care is simply a band-aid for our wounds. So getting from band-aids to belief is the first part. Instead of using all of these tools for self-care as band-aids, but still having this lingering thought internally that I'm not good enough, or life will always be like this, or I don't think that I can overcome this. Our brain is the master of our body. So whatever we're programmed to do mentally, emotionally, spiritually, through here, that's what our body's going to follow. That's the energy that we're going to attract. That's the decisions that we're going to make, and it's the company we're going to keep. So being able to be ready to change your beliefs so that self-care can really do its full work and open up the expanded environment around you is how you're going to make those changes. I've also found that we take ourselves just a little bit too seriously. While we are 1 in 40 trillion, we are a continuous experiment of what is, what can be, and what is possible in our fullness. So instead of, if being serious and taking yourself too seriously is something that gets in your way, one of the things that I found helpful is to take on this mindset of let it be an experiment. If you're about to go into something that's difficult or challenging, or it just feels uncomfortable for you, look at it as an experiment. If I did this, I wonder what would happen. Not, I'm worried about who's gonna see, or what are they gonna think, or how am I gonna do, or do I have enough of. Instead, just look at it like an experiment. Take all of the emotion out of it and get to the facts. I do X, Y, and Z. What possibility exists there? That's what we've got to focus our attention on, because that will get us to act. A lot of times we get into analysis paralysis, where essentially we think the problem through so much. What could go right? What could go wrong? What would we be missing? All that kind of stuff. And while strategy is great, strategy is an ally, over-analysis is our kryptonite, and it will paralyze us to not act and then we're worse off essentially. If strategy is going to be your deflator, you may need to lessen the details of your strategy so that it's very simplistic, and then go ahead and approach your action with intention, with belief, and with the knowing that there is miraculous energy inside of you and pushing behind you. When we look at all of that, understanding that no matter what wellness modality you do, if you get massages, yoga, meditation, Pilates, Zumba, whatever it is, all of it, while they are great, if there is not belief in what you're doing and how you're moving forward and how you're developing and changing and transforming, they are oftentimes band-aids. And we don't want that. So instead, we've got to focus on changing your identity to one that believes in your full capacity, that rewrites what can happen for yourself and believes in it energetically, where it matches and aligns with your actions. You show up in rooms for yourself and showcase what's available for you. What that equates to is being reprogrammed for divine truth. When you look at whatever faith it is that you walk, and you think about the way that your Creator sees you, the way that you were created, the fibers in which you were made, you were cultivated, what truth is there? Who is that person? What is their possibility, and how big can it get? I want you to try and live in that version of yourself, in that simplicity of yourself, but that extraordinary essence of yourself. So that way, the self-care works, because all that's going to do is amplify what's already there. Self-care can actually be helpful if we're also doing the internal work that makes it work. I have found that self-care practices can help and hurt. While journaling and meditation and yoga and all that kind of stuff is great, it can also bring you to tears. I personally have been on my mat sobbing and weeping, because what it does is it uncovers the stuff, the ickiness, the ego, the self-sabotage, the toxic habits, the toxic relationships. Self-care oftentimes, especially if it is an interpersonal type of self-care where you're getting reflective for yourself, it's going to pull away your layers and it's going to let you see your shadows. But the thing is, shadows get such a bad rap, but we need those shadows. We need to be at peace with our inner villain so that we can learn from that person, so that we can learn from that part of ourself. Because all of our shadows, all of our toxic habits, all of our internal obstacles, they are there to teach us how to overcome them so that we can be in our best light. But again, we're not going to get there if we don't get curious and we don't surrender to ourselves so that we are able to do that. I want you this week to start living more fully in your identity, to rewrite your story. What would be possible for you if you rewrote your story? Who would you be? How would you interact with the world? How would you interact with yourself? And what would that look like? Journal that, write it out, think about it, meditate on it, whatever it is that you need to do, whatever that looks like. I just want you to focus and start rebuilding who you believe that you actually are. And maybe you're already at the place where you're happy with yourself. That's great. However, how good can it get? Get curious. Let me know in the comments what's been resonating with you. Who are you rebuilding? Maybe type in one word for me and let me know how you're rebuilding so that we can all rebuild together. I'm sending you so much love, light, and joy. Take care, friends. Bye.